Hi guys, this is Dr. Ismo, your tourism authority. And for today, you know what? I was just doom scrolling today and apparently I saw a quiz show, okay, that reminded me of my childhood way back in the 90s. So, shout out sa mga batang 90s no, na lumaki sa konsepto ng Battle of the Brains. And also in the early 2000s, there was digital LG quiz. So I hope you guys are still familiar with those things. But this time, I think they're back and with a new spin and a new set of candidates and set of new contestants with the younger and the fresher candidates. No, and it's called Bilyonaryo. Sorry, here, here, Bilyonaryo Quiz B. So, let's try to answer the questions. No, so I've started with episode one, and then there's all about syempre, general information quiz B. So, as someone na lumaki noong 90s and as somebody who also competes on a lot of quiz B before, let's try kung kaya pa natin. And what's cool about this thing is that their host is actually the same host of Battle of the Brains, Carlos Celdran. Carlos Celdran, sorry, David Celdran. Sorry, Carlos Celdran. Ano pala yan? Tour guide pala yan, sorry. And yeah, he's a tour guide. Okay, so David Celdran is the host of this game show. So let's try. It looks like the same.
Hello everyone, I'm David Celdran, your quiz master. Welcome to Bilyonaryo Quiz B, College Edition, where the brightest minds from all each. The first contestant to buzz gets to answer. Correct answers earn points, while incorrect answers give the remaining opponents a chance to steal. So let's see who can outsmart and outbuzz their opponents in round one of the Bilyonaryo Quiz B. All right, that sounds really exciting. Now, before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone here to wait for me to acknowledge you before giving your answers, okay? Now, let's get our minds and our brains to work because we're now ready for...
So we're going to pause for every question and then let's see kung masasagot natin yung mga tanong ngayon, no? At we'll also assess the performance of the kids who are joining this quiz bee. Okay, let's try.
round number one. All right, 12 questions. These are somewhat easy, but that depends, of course, on your skill level. And let's begin with our first question in the history category. Listen in. In the mid-19th century,
The mid-19th century, what did most native Filipinos get in sa compilation? Claveria catalog. Somehow resonates. I think this is the collection of last names. Let's see.
in the Philippines, what did most native Filipinos get from a compilation popularly known as the Claveria Catalog? Zeus.
Surname?
Surnames, family names, that is correct. Or your last names. And most of us in the country get our names from that catalog. Or once upon a time, it was called the Catalogo Alfabetico de Apellidos, compilation of surnames distributed to Filipinos who were born in the country. Native Filipinos, of course. All right, let's move on to our next round. Second question, that is. Computer systems and programs are subject to the so-called GIGO principle. What
Gigo principle. Computer systems program. I think this is all about something that would relate to a process. Garbage in, garbage out.
does the acronym
I don't know.
GIGO stand for? GIGO, G-I-G-O. It's an acronym for what?
Alam ko may gigo
In
rin sa
computer systems.
garbage in, garbage
Time is
out.
up. The
Business.
correct answer is, would you know this? Garbage in, garbage out. That's, if you were to input wrong information, you'll most probably get
Bongga.
as an output bad information as well. All right, let's move on to our next question. This is in Arts and Literature, question number 3. In Greek mythology, Prometheus had the bright idea of stealing what from the gods and
Fire.
giving it. I wonder if you know the Zeus.
Fire.
That is correct. Because it was Zeus who punished Prometheus by chaining him to the rock, to the mountains. All right. And having an eagle nip away at his liver every day.
Okay,
Next
okay.
question. Math and logic.
Which
In trigonometry,
cosine
which function
is
represents the ratio of the adjacent side of an acute angle
cosine
to the
adjacent
hypotenuse? Zeus?
Cosine.
Cosine.
I thought you'd get this right because you're an architecture student. That is correct. It's cosine.
Diyos ko, pag di mo pa nasagot, tingnan ko na lang, di ba? So, katoa. Sine opposite hypotenuse, cosine adjacent hypotenuse, and then, ano yung towa? Tangent opposite angle.
So far, so good for Zeus. 3 straight correct answers. Well, 3 correct answers out of 4 for 3,000. Ahmed, Lady May, still early in the game. Lots of time, lots of chances to catch up. Let's try with this next question, okay? Question number 5 is in geography and nature. Listen in. The playground of the gods,
Obvious.
that's how natives call what Luzon landmark, which is also almost 3,000 meters above sea level.
Ang
The
pula.
highest peak in Luzon. Lady May,
Mount Apo.
Mount Apo is not in Luzon. That is wrong. Ahmed,
Mount Pinatubo.
Mount Pinatubo. It's a pretty high peak, but not high enough.
So, it's Mount
Zeus may want to try.
Mount Arayat.
Mount Arayat is also wrong. The correct answer is Mount Pulag. Clearly, neither of you have been there. The highest peak, one of the highest peaks in Luzon. It's called the playground of the gods, covered by, blanketed by clouds. Beautiful, beautiful. You should try going there one of these days. Let's move on to question number 6. In general information,
Ahiyas Festival.
Filipino fiestas. Colorful rice wafers called kiping decorate homes and streets during what popular fiesta in the Philippines? Zeus.
Pahiyas Festival.
The Pahiyas Festival, or Pahiyas is correct. This is held in Lucban, Quezon.
I don't know why, but I think the easy questions now are really easy compared to before. No, para masyadong madadali yung mga tanong. I mean, as somebody who's competing before, parang very easy. I mean, kayang-kaya, no?
Every May 15th, in honor of San Isidro Labrador. And that is correct, patron saint of farmers.
But
Okay, 4,000 now for Zeus. Lady May, Ahmed, come on. Time is, sooner or later, you're going to have to catch up. Let's try to do it in this next question. Number 7, history. What Japanese military title literally means barbarian subduing commander-in-chief? A Japanese military title.
Shogun.
Lady May,
Shogun.
you are correct, Lady May. Shogun for 1,000 points. Very good. Oh, a warlord, right? We know them as a Japanese warlord. Shogun. Next question. In science and technology. What is the common name for nitrous oxide, often used in dentistry to relieve pain?
Gas.
Nitrous oxide. Zeus.
Laughing gas.
Yes, it is laughing gas. And that gives you another 1,000 points. Clearly in the lead at this point, more than halfway through our first round. Let's go to our next question, arts and literature. Okay. What beloved Pinoy fictional character was inspired by a family?
I know this. Hervasha Guzman de Zamora. Hervasha. So, obviously, it's Lola Bashang. Diba? Lola, mga kwento ni Lola Bashang.
Matriarch named Hervasha Guzman de Zamora of Quiapo, Manila. This gave birth to an anthology of short stories. Yes, Ahmed?
Juan Tamad?
Juan Tamad? No?
It's in the name.
Anyone like to steal? Who is this Pinoy fictional character? Time is up. Inspired by a matriarch named Hervasha Guzman de Zamora from Quiapo, Manila, Lola Bashang, right? If you're familiar with the work, the anthology of works by Severino Reyes, that was called Mga Kwento ni Lola Bashang. Maybe no longer in your generation, not the TikTok generation, but in my generation, that was very much alive. Mga Kwento ni Lola Bashang. Question number 10 now. Math and logic. I'll read a question twice. You may want to solve for this. What number is 2/3 of 48?
32.
What number is 2/3 of 48? Lady May?
32.
32 is correct. Very good, Lady May. That's another 1,000 points for you. 2/3 times 48 is equal to 96 over 3. In simplest terms, 32. Correct. Let's go now to our second to the last question in our first round. This will be in geography and nature. Spanning a vast area across parts of Southeast Asia and Oceania, it is the most diverse and biologically complex marine ecosystem on the planet. What is the name of this important geometric region?
Coral triangle.
Spanning Southeast Asia and Oceania. Time is up. It's right close to us, the Coral Triangle, okay? And that includes the Philippines in that Coral Triangle. Let's go to our final question in round one. In general information. Okay, this is fun. In the late 1920s in California, a Pinoy, a Filipino immigrant named Pedro Flores, produced and promoted what tricky toy that became an instant bestseller in the US and eventually around the world? A toy developed, conceptualized, created by a Pinoy immigrant in the 1920s in California. Became a best-selling toy. Ahmed.
Yo-yo.
Yes, yo-yo is correct. 1,000 points for you. All right, in the nick of
Oh my God. That's it.
time, Ahmed, you've made 1,000 points.
That's it. That's 12 questions. Easy questions. One thing to say, I think the questions now are easier compared to before. No, or siguro dahil um mas marami na rin siguro akong alam compared dati, no? But definitely I think everything is easier now compared nung 90s. Parang mas mahirap yung mga questions dati, lalo na sa math. Pero parang ngayon, Diyos ko, grabe naman, sobrang dali naman nun. Two-thirds of, tawag dito, two-thirds of 48. Parang, Diyos ko, hindi mo na kailangan gamitan ng calculator. And also, obvious na yung question, nandun na rin yung cosine, 'di ba? Nandun na sa question yung sagot. Parang masyadong given naman ata ngayon. Parang dati wala namang ganito. Ayun. So, yeah, that's just a quick review of how Quiz B now. Pero medyo alam mo yun, medyo nakaka-frustrate. Kasi I was expecting na medyo hardcore, as in Battle of the Brains level, yung mga tanungan. Yeah.